All right, algebra students, we did a little bit of this in class with these SolveMe puzzles. Call them mobiles here, like the little stuff that hangs over a baby's crib. Everything's balanced, it'll be okay. And right now, I can see that we need everything to weigh 8, and we know that our trapezoid weighs 2. And we're trying to figure out the moon right there. There's kind of two different ways I can figure this out. One way is just noticing that two trapezoids needs to weigh the same as a moon. So if I go 2 times 2, I know it's 4. And the other way I know that it's got to be 4 for the moon is because half of 8 is 4. And I've got to have a total weight of 8. Half of that becomes 4, like that. Okay? So I'm going to do a couple of these, jump around a little bit on the difficulty level. And if you want more videos like this, please just request. So let's clear the screen. Here we go. Let's try one that's a little bit harder. Let's go to number 13 here. So what do I know? I know that the whole thing weighs 24, and I know that a heart weighs 2. Well, half of 24 is 12, so I know that these two shapes, square and moon, make 12. These shapes also make 12 with the two hearts and the square. So I would write 2 here and 2 there. In other words, 2 plus 2 plus a square makes 12. That would be the same as saying 4 plus a square makes 12. Opposite of plus is minus. And so we can figure out that a square needs to be worth 8. And once we have the square being worth 8, we know what the moon has to be also. Moon needs to be 4. Why 4? Because each half of the mobile needs to weigh 12, and 8 plus 4 makes 12. If I wanted to write that out algebraically, instead of just figuring it out logically, algebra is really just a way of recording what you thought logically. I thought that half of it has to be 12. I already knew that a square was worth 8. I didn't know what a moon was worth, so I wrote that. And just like in the previous problem, minus cancels plus, so 4 is equal to the value of the moon. So what I will do is do one more of these puzzles, a little bit harder. Let's clear that screen. There we go. Let's look at something like number 21. Oops. Gotta clear that screen out. All right, so on number 21, only information I have is that a square is worth 1. And so over here, I see 8 squares. And so that one just pops out to be 8. That one's really not so bad. Let's try to find another one that's a little harder. Maybe this one will be more fun. Let's clear that screen. Here I know that the squares are worth 1 each. I know that the whole thing weighs 28. So I know that half of it has to be 14. So I can set up an equation for this piece of the puzzle right here. We have 2 circles, so I'll just use the letter C for the weight of a circle, plus 2 squares. And I just wrote the number 2 because each square is worth 1. I could have written 2 times 1 if I wanted to, but that's the same as 2. And that equals 14. Just like before, when we had plus in our equation, we used minus to get rid of plus. So now I know that 2 circles needs to weigh 12. Here we have division, and we have multiplication, and we use division to get rid of multiplication, seeing that a circle then has to be 6. So a circle's got to be 6. Let's pop that in there, and then see if we can figure out what the hexagon weighs. So let's look over at the other side of the puzzle. I know that these 3 pieces need to make 14. So I have circle plus 2 hexagons makes 14. And we know a circle is worth 6. So 6 plus 2 hexagons has to weigh 14. Take away 6 from both sides. 2 hexagons needs to weigh 8. Divide both sides by 2. And we have our solution. The hexagon weighs 4. And we know we got it right if once we type it in, everything balances. stays balanced, adds up to 28. There we go. In a separate video, I'll do a couple more of these at the higher difficulty level if you are interested in watching that. Feel free to ask any more videos.